Lately, flagging patterns have been kind of working for me. So I've been keeping an eye out for them. Mostly bear flags. I really haven't taken advantage of a bull flag quite yet that I can remember. So this one took place later on in the day on IWM, approximately 11:30. So all day long, IWM was just kind of all over the place. I really didn't see a setup on IWM. There was a spy setup earlier in the day, close to the after the market opened, that I could have. I saw after the fact, but looking back, it was definitely an area of interest to learn from. Really, it was pretty much a break and retest of the previous day high, in accordance with the rejection of some of the EMAs and stuff with the move to the downside. But like I said, that's hindsight. Take a look. I can take a look at it all day long, and just kind of learn from it more than anything. So later on in the day, I'm just kind of on and off the computer, keeping an eye on the screens. I I am antsy to put a trade on, just waiting for a setup to develop. I was wanting to make sure there was something there to off of versus just taking a trade blindly off of something that wouldn't have worked out. So later on in the afternoon or in the morning rather, like I said, about 11:30, we see this rejecting area off of a fair value gap, rejected, pushed up to the upside, and all of a sudden it started chasing back down. So what I noticed here was we were crossing back underneath the 200 EMA, indicated by this red line, as well as the 48 EMA, this purple line, and the 13 EMA, this yellow line. So that tells me we're still kind of maybe a little bit bearish, as well as closing below the 5-minute opening range, the bottom of that opening range, only to come back into it and kind of retest. We have this candle here with this large upper wick. So at that point, I've already had the channel drawn for the bear flag. So I'm just kind of waiting for it to play out to see what's going to happen, if it's going to start trending below the 13 EMA. And if that was the case, and I was going to possibly open up a position short on IWM. And I can also see here SPY looked like it was kind of rejecting these EMAs as well. We have these long upper wicks on these candles here, indicating possible weakness, sellers stepping in, potentially taking the market further down. So with this candle rejecting one of the EMA lines is when I start to kind of get more interested in the idea that this may fail below this channel. So my eyes are glued on IWM right now with the 245 put contracts already queued up. I'm kind of gearing up to possibly enter short on this trade. So on this candle right here, we can see that it closed below the channel, below the 13 EMA. So you can see my mouse hovering over the buy market area. Just kind of getting ready to see I wanted to see what this candle was going to do. If it was just going to be a fake out and pop back up to the upside, or if this in itself showed weakness that it was going to continue downward, then I was going to short the market, short IWM rather. With that candle failing the 13 EMA, I'm getting ready to possibly go short. I wanted to see this candle close with 10 seconds left, and I went ahead and went short because it did look strong enough, pushing to the downside with a little bit of volume coming in. Pretty much a solid red volume bar indicating there's nothing but sellers involved. So with that, I definitely felt comfortable that we had failed the 13 EMA below the 5-minute opening range area, as well as the 48 and 200 EMAs. I felt comfortable that we were going to have a pretty good move to the downside. At this point, I'm keeping an eye on SPY because I feel like IWM is also trending with SPY as far as the weakness goes to the downside. So as long as SPY kind of kept pushing, showing strength, I was going to stay in IWM. All right, there, I just kind of felt that we were getting close to the bottom of this my take profit zone. Yeah, just kind of a mental take profit area. But I also felt that with the amount of volume coming in on SPY, also started coming in on IWM, that to me that indicated there's a lot of participation at this level, like a lot of buyers maybe stepping in to possibly take the market back to the upside. So I wanted to get out sooner than later just to take the profit. What we can see is that the market did go down a little further, but about that point is when they actually the market actually started to reverse. A bunch of buyers stepped in and eventually did push everything up higher. So got out of that one pretty good. Also, too, the market did push up a little further to the upside, but if I go ahead and fast forward later on, it did push up, but it eventually did fail and continue to the downside. So, could I have benefited more from this trade? Absolutely, but I am more than happy to take the small trade that I did. Even though this trade didn't happen until later on in the day, I was still pretty happy with the way I completed the trade. The way I entered, I recognized the potential setup, took advantage of it. So from here on out, I think definitely, I've mentioned this before plenty of times. I feel like I'm definitely a lot more patient waiting for setups to develop. Because before, too, I would just try to force trades that weren't there. And I can definitely see how I was taking, 10 steps backwards. I wasn't making any money. I was losing money, taking trades, like I said, that weren't there. So definitely regrouped, thought about things, slowed down a lot. And at this point in my trading, I feel like things are starting to look up for the better by being patient, waiting for things, setup to develop. Trying to recognize setups is a big part of it too, though. Because I mean, I think the more trades, the more successful trades I take, which that in itself is going to be difficult, the more successful trades I wind up taking, such as the bear flags or the bull flags that have been working out, the more confident and comfortable I will be with taking that type of trade. Now, there's going to be a time where it doesn't go in the direction I want it to, but at that point, that's when you just got to manage your risk, your trades. So for the most part, at this point, bull flags and bear flags have been working for me. And there's still a few other strategies that I'm trying to implement, just really haven't seen them set up or just haven't taken advantage of them. But overall, I'm pretty happy with my trading. Like I said, this marks another green day that I've had consecutively for a little while. And I'm trying to keep up that momentum all while I'm just trading and journaling my trading, just kind of documenting things along the way to show the progress, whether it be good or bad. But even then, I think like a few days ago, I posted a red day that I had just to kind of be transparent and then even for myself, just to be able to look back and see what I did wrong and why I did it. So that'll be it for today. Thanks.